Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Darren. I hope you're all well. And today we're going to do another stitch with me. If you can't tell what this one is from the looks of it, I'm going to be doing my cross stitch studio piece, the Native Wolfe. So really like this chart. At the moment I'm currently working in this area here. So now I'm going to be working on all these first of all today. So all my park threads, get these out of the way, and then I can start filling in certain areas. So I hope you can see this all okay. I've not zoomed all the way in like I normally do, just so you can see, because I'm going to be going all over the place on this one, as you will see in a moment. So thanks for all your comments. Look at that, put that one in the wrong spot already. Thanks for all your comments on the last stitch with me. Seems like everyone enjoyed that one, with it being a little bit longer. So hopefully I can get this one roughly around about the same length, or maybe a little bit longer. We'll see how we go. Depends out if I run out of little stories to tell you or not. So again, if you've not watched my latest update video, I have a giveaway on there again this week, and that one is for Charting Creations, which is another one of the groups that have been attacked by the women, saying that their charts are all illegal. So if you are interested in that one, jump on over and leave me a comment. So I have had a look at some of the Charting Creations charts. As I did say in my update, I don't know why I've not actually had any of those yet, because I did one. It was an Optimus Prime one, I think based on the movie, not the cartoon version, and it looks really, really good, and I really, really wanted it, and for some reason I never got around to getting it. Probably had another sale on at the time, I don't know, one of them. So yeah, so if you are interested in that, go and have a look. But I'm going to say, they do have a lot of good charts on their site. Charts for everybody. So we'll go through life update stuff first, get that out of the way. So work has slowly picked up, not an awful lot, but slowly. So we've started getting some timber in. Now this is all mainly for one of the other 3 saws that we have there, not for my saw. But at the moment it's not too bad, because I'm helping out on one of the other saws. So there's not many of us that actually work where I work, other than management. There's only 7 of us. Now there's 6 main ones, and then we have one guy who is a student, so he can only work so many hours a week because he's a student. Now he got stood down, I would probably say 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks before we actually closed for Christmas. But he is the, let me get this right, so his auntie is friends with the boss, so she got him the job. And he is absolutely useless. There's not many people I don't like, but for some reason I just cannot get on with him whatsoever. He's from abroad. He's from South Africa, but he's only a young lad. He's, I want to say 20, 19, 20. But he's one of these that happens to know it all. He's done this, he's done that, and it's like, you're 19, 20 years old. I doubt you'll have done everything like you say you've done. He's one of those kind of guys. He's also really, really lazy. If the management aren't around, he will just stand around on his phone, or he's constantly off to the toilet. I think he really needs to see a doctor with the amount of times he goes to the toilet. But anyway, enough said of that. So yeah, so he's not been there for a while. Now, if it was me and I'd been stood down for that long, I would be out looking for another job. Not this one. He's still waiting for his auntie to get him work back at our place. So the boss keeps going on to his son. Now his son kind of runs the hiring and firing and everything like that. So he's constantly going on to him to get this lad back in work. And his son keeps saying to him, we haven't got the wood coming in to justify having him back. And because there's not the wood coming in, there's not enough money for all the wages for everybody if they employed him back. We all know that's not right because they make loads of money. But obviously it just means they'd have to take it out of their wages rather than out of the money for staff. So anyway, so this guy has not come back yet. And then we found out on Thursday that he was meant to be due back in next week. So, sorry, this week as you're watching it now. So he's due back in. And it's like, well, what's he going to work on? We've got no wood. So who knows? Well, yesterday we had a big delivery of timber. But this was for the other 3 saws. For my saw, it doesn't like the kind of wood that it's got in. But the boss was adamant it will work on my saw. So yesterday afternoon I fired up my saw. So this is the first time it's been fired up probably since Christmas. And the boss decided he was going to try this wood on there. So he put a couple of lengths of wood through, and they all come out at different sizes. So it's like, I told you, he doesn't like this wood. So he messed around, and anyway, he turned around and he said, right, he says, we'll stack a couple out and see how it goes. He says, and we'll just keep measuring it. So, okay. So we were stacking this wood out. I was measuring it, and all the pieces were coming out at incorrect lengths. Anyway, after about 5 minutes, the boss turns around to me and he says, right, he says, you go back and help one of the other guys. He says, and I'll mess around here and get some more feeding done. Okay, fair enough. So I went back around to help one of my colleagues, and the boss started throwing all this timber through. And according to him, every single length of wood was absolutely spot on from when I left my saw. Apparently, not one problem with it. It's like, well, it's funny that, because it seemed to be working pretty rubbish when I was there, and nothing was coming out the correct length, because this kind of wood it doesn't like. So I think he's just saying that so you can go back to his son and say that this saw is working fine, so we can get this other guy in to get him back at work. I was like, fair dues is trying to get the other guy some work to do, but the fact that he's got him in to work on a saw that's not going to enjoy cutting that wood, so that we can then turn the saw off and say we can't do it, for him to sit around or get sent home, I see pretty pointless. So we will see what happens. But yeah, there's definitely not much wood been turning up, and some of it that has turned up has gone straight back out because people have been waiting for it for a while. So we will see. But it's like I said, if this other guy does come back in, he can work with the boss. The boss seems to think no matter how fast you're going, things need to be put through a lot faster than what they should be. So he's a bit stupid, my boss. So, for example, on my saw at the moment, there's just me, because the other guy that used to be there left. So it's just me. But when my boss decides to help out on the saw, he has to turn it up to full power and fire the wood through as fast as he possibly can. Bearing in mind there's one person on the other end of the saw having to pick up the wood that comes through and then stack it as neat as you can into the correct piles and then come back and pick up the next wood. My boss doesn't look at it like that. My boss says, if you can't keep up, then I can replace you. I said, well, good luck finding somebody else who can do this. So he will continue feeding this wood. Now, at the end of the saw, there is the end of the saw where the wood comes out after it's been cut. It's like a table. He will continue feeding this wood until all the wood falls off the table, both up the top and at the end. And he will still continue feeding. You can see this wood dropping everywhere, but he won't stop. But he did this once before, and one of the guys he was doing it to hit the emergency stop button and told him to stack and see how he liked it, because we can all feed the wood through as fast as the boss can. So the boss went, yeah, not a problem. So they swapped places. So this guy fired the wood through like no one's business. The boss stacked for literally 30 seconds and then went, I'll be back in a bit, I need to go and make a couple of phone calls. It's like funny that, because before you didn't have any phone calls to make because you were happy feeding the wood through. And he never came back out, funnily enough. And after that, he never worked on the saw again for a while. So you always get the one. So I wish I'd have been there to see that. I wasn't actually there at the time. But if I'd have been there to see that, I would have been laughing my head off at it. So this is actually the bottom of this page. This is the side end of the page, round about here. So I'm just doing a couple of stitches into them, just to feather it in, so I don't get the lines that some people get when they get to the end of the page, so the page break lines. So I always put a couple of stitches into the other pages, and like this I've hardly got much thread left on there, so I'll just do a couple of stitches just to finish that off. Just like that. I still haven't mastered doing pin stitch on 28 count. So I always weave behind. I still haven't mastered out either how to use my overhead camera arm so I can do these stitch with me the proper way. I think I'll have to get some of the people who actually use the same setup as I do to show me how they've done it, so then I can get it the right way around. It helps, so then I can get it sorted. And say I went out the way to buy this arm and I can't use the thing because I've got nowhere to hang it up. So I don't know if they attach it to the back of chairs or what. We will see. Right, next colour. Now some of these colours I've parked here, and there's only like 2 or 3 stitches left of them, so you'd have thought I'd have finished them off at the time, but nah, not me. Right. Just make sure that's in the right place, and it's not. Let's go double checked. That's a big cross one. 1, 2, 3. Yep, yep. You will notice as well that I do, when I'm doing cross country, I do carry my threads a fair bit. When you're on 28 count, it's not actually that far. Well, I don't think it is anyway. So, funny story now. Well, not overly funny, but I think it's funny. We have at the house here a couple of wasp nests. And these wasp nests got built pretty quick. They weren't huge, overly huge ones. They were only small, maybe about that big, but not long since I started building them. And I had one on the veranda just outside for my bedroom. There's some doors that lead out onto the veranda, so just outside those doors there was a wasp nest, and then above my door there is a outside light, and there was another wasp nest being built there. Well, the other day I had some visitors round, and one went round past there. Now, bear in mind, these wasps don't generally bother me. I walk around, they don't attack me or anything like that. Well, one of my guests walked round and got stung. Luckily, they weren't allergic to wasp stings, so they got stung. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to see about getting rid of these nests. So it's like looking up, and it's like, oh, you can buy this thing from one of the shops, and that works fine. So I went to the shops, they didn't have any of it, so there must be a lot of people with wasps hanging around. So this is, I just use the normal like fly spray, because over here the fly spray does multiple insects. It's really good fly spray actually. I really need it over in the UK. But it does like spiders, cockroaches, ants, does everything. So it's like, okay then, so I'll get some of that. Anyway, there's one which has got, I think it's called dual nozzle. So it has 2 nozzles on it, instead of just the one that you would normally get on aerosols. So, what was it, yesterday? It was like, right, time to get rid of these wasps. Now I know normally wasps are a bit less active at night time. So it's like, right, so I'll wait till it starts getting darker. They're not too dark that I can't see them. So it was around about 6 o'clock last night. So went to the bedroom doors, opened them up, got this spray. With it being dual nozzle, the spray goes a lot further than most fly sprays. So this spray went straight to the nest. You should have seen all the wasps come flying off it. There was hundreds. It's like, okay, there's a lot more there than I thought there were. To say this thing is only small, the amount of wasps that was on it, building it and what have you, there was loads. Well, these wasps are flying everywhere. Needless to say, I have never run back inside and shut the door so quick in my life. Anyway, left it a couple of minutes and the wasps would all like disappeared or calmed down, and then went outside and sprayed the other one. Again, run straight back in, shut the door. Left it a couple of minutes, opened the door again, and all the wasps flown off. So it was a case of then like knock the nests down, and so the nests got knocked off. So from what I've heard, once a nest has been knocked down, they won't return back and rebuild the nest. I don't know how true that is, but so far I've not seen any wasps around, so fingers crossed they won't be back. But now my luck, they'll probably go out and build it somewhere else, on another part of the veranda. So I was out doing the washing today, so it's Saturday today. So I did the washing, pegged her out, and I was expecting to be attacked by all these wasps from destroying their nests or something, but no, there was nothing around. I was like, okay, that's okay then. And so far, they've not come back. And if you hear a noise going off every now and then, it's one of those automatic air fresheners. I think you could hear it a bit in my latest video as well. I'd not noticed until I was watching it back, and it was like, what's that noise that keeps going off? And then I realised what it was. So yeah, so if you hear a noise in the background, it's that. Not the cats today. The cats are all asleep. It's another warm day today. It's meant to be getting up to about 33, I think. So they're all sleeping because it's quite warm at the moment. It's nearly 1 o'clock. And they're all sleeping, so this is generally roughly around about the hottest time of the day, so by that time they're normally flaked. So if you don't know, cats do like to sleep 16 hours a day. Mine like to sleep a lot longer than that and wait till night time and then wake up and run around the house, or till just before you go into bed. Then they want to play. Especially Tiger, he's a little monkey for it. I know he's swollen. So I don't know if you watch many floss tubes, but if you've noticed that most people refrain from swearing on them. Some people don't, some people just swear like mad. But most people refrain from swearing. And me, when I'm at work, I won't say I swear a lot, but I swear every now and then. When I'm at home, so when you stab yourself with needles straight under your nail, it's not very often I swear. I might call a cat a name or two, depending what they've done. It's not very often I swear that much. But when it comes to filming a video, you're constantly thinking, oh, I better not say that, better not do this. A number of times I've had to stop myself from swearing on the video, whereas normally I wouldn't normally swear. So, but at work I swear like a trooper. Sometimes. No, I'm not kidding. I'm always swearing like a trooper at work. But at home, I hardly ever swear, which is very strange. So having to remember to watch your P's and Q's while doing a video, it's a lot harder than you think. I know a couple of floss tubers who say it is quite hard to remember not to swear, and some people I say they don't care, they just say it anyway. So yeah, so if you hear me starting to say one word and then change it to another one, you know why, because I was going to swear and then changed it. So I'm marking off as well as we're going along. So I'm using Pattern Keeper as always. That's one good thing with all the charts that I've got really. So custom crafts. I keep saying custom crafts across 6 studios, and chart and creation ones and artisy. They're all Pattern Keeper compatible. Say that 10 times fast when you're drunk. What have I done there? Where am I? I put that one in the wrong spot. Have I? No, I haven't. On the wrong line. So yes, if you haven't used Pattern Keeper before, trust me, when you do finally get around to using it, it is one of the best things ever for cross stitching. You get your free trial, so you get, I think it's 14 days free trial or something like that of it. And then you have to, sorry about that guys, as always, whenever I'm doing one of these, somebody always rings. They must know, I'm telling you, they must have cameras in my house spying on me. So, as I was saying, so with Pattern Keeper, you get your free trial, 14 days, and then after that you pay for it. It's only a one-off payment, and you don't pay for it again. But for me, obviously because I'm in Australia, and the exchange rate and stuff like that, I think it cost me something like $15 or something like that. But it's the best $15 I have ever spent. So if you haven't used it yet, I highly recommend you getting it. Especially if you do have a lot of downloadable charts. They're adding more and more designers into it as well, all the time. So some charts may not work to start with, and then they'll start working. So that she's always updating it. She's also, the designer has also started as well. Where am I? Doing YouTube, well, doing little videos on YouTube as well to show you how new things work that she's added into it. So if you've not seen any of those and you're wanting to see what she's done, just search on YouTube Pattern Keeper and that'll take you to her channel. So they're only a couple minute videos, but it just explains how to get certain things working on them. This ear is coming along nicely. Enjoying this. There. Only thing when you're doing videos as well, you're talking, stitching, and then checking where you are and marking things off, and then you forget which part you've done, so you've got to go searching for areas that look like what it does on the chart. And you always find out as well, when you're using 2 strands of floss, you always end up with one piece of floss on the ends bigger than the other one, like there though. Always. I don't know why. And that has to do with how you stitch and stuff like that. I always end up doing that, just to get rid of it. Yeah, I always end up with the 2 different size strands for some reason. Which can get quite annoying, especially when you don't realise that one's shorter than the other one. You're stitching away, and then all of a sudden you're stitching with 1 strand instead of 2, and you're like, well, where did that happen? Go back, unpick it all, trying to find out where it went wrong. So, I think it's from when you're pulling it through and you end up twisting your needle to get it put back through. It kind of shortens the one length if you do it all the same way. Apparently those needles are double-ended, so you can pull them, use just 2 hands, one underneath, one on top, and just quickly pull it up and down. Apparently they're good for stopping that, but I've never tried one. I think they're called the big eye needles or something like that, and the eye filling needle is in the middle, and it kind of like flexes, so like the eye would actually be like here, and then you just up and down with the stabbing motion. So my place where I get all my fabric and that from is open again this week. Finally. So she shut down before Christmas. Can't remember what date exactly. Ready for changing everything over onto a proper website. And she's now, well, from the 1st of February, is back up and running. Unless there's any delays. So hopefully there won't be. So I can get some stuff ordered. I need to order some floss for my mystery cell, because half the colours I need I haven't got. It's like I say, you have all these flosses. I mean, this one has absolutely loads of different flosses. So I think there's 90 different colours in this one. So you've got, well, I've got these on thread job, so loads and loads and loads of. I'm going to zoom out on this one, or maybe not. Loads and loads and loads of flossers. All these, and half the colours in here are not used on the other one. I've got all the colours from my supersize piece. There's 240 colours in there. Yep, some of those I don't even have. And some of the other charts I've already got kitted up as well. I've looked at those, don't have those. So I think I must need to order about 30 different flossers just for the mystery cell. So I think I'm definitely going to have to do a bit of saving up and just buy a full set of DMC floss. So then at least I've got one skein of everything. So then I can start pieces and everything I need to. And then when I know I'm running short, then just order that one skein. Yes, I know sometimes there's the problems with the dye lots where they do look completely different, but that doesn't bother me. I say it's full coverage, you're probably not going to notice anyway. Unless it's like a big box of white like this, then obviously if it's a different shade, then you're definitely going to notice that one. So, yeah. But I definitely want to get some fabric ordered, so I can start working on the ones that I was gifted. And then I also need to get the fabric for my brother's 2 pieces. Well, that one will be when he transferred the money over in the next week or so. And then I can get all the fabric for his and get them started as well. So hopefully I may have the charts to show you what he wants in the next week or 2. And that's just a case of then ordering his fabric and his floss. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have a fair bit of the colours to start them off while I'm waiting to get the other ones. So you'll see. One thing, when you start filling in one area, that's a lot of confetti, especially on 28 count. You then got to try and figure out, you can't even see what I'm doing here, you then got to try and figure out where you're going. I'm trying to find the holes that you've missed that need filling in. Especially when you're doing the light colours. So doing this colour, this part here, because it's so many different light colours, you're trying to find out where you need to go with your next stitch and you're looking at it and you're like, no, is that a stitch there or is it just the fabric? So you're poking it with your needle, hoping that it'll fluff up or something. And it's like, yep, nope, that's a stitch. Right, yeah, so it's not there then. So whereabouts do I need to be? And when you do it on the easy count, obviously normally you can just have a look for the grid lines. But when you've covered over the grid lines, you're like, right, whereabouts is this part here? So then you're trying to find, like say from here, you're trying to go, right, so it's somewhere around about here, somewhere. And then you're trying to focus in on trying to figure out where it is. The joys of cross stitch. So if you've seen my latest video as well, you'll see that my Mrs. Sadie silks turned up. And it's 2 hanks. On there, so one is called Pride and the other called is Supernova. And as I said before, if anyone's ever used like hanks of silk, how do you get it all prepared for usage? I know you have to cut it, I know that much, because otherwise you're going to have a very, very long piece of floss. But you just do it like you would do with any normal floss, like trying to think. It's like when you're doing your DMC and you're splitting that up to get it onto like thread drops and stuff like that, and then you cut it. Do you just do it like that and just measure it down to a certain length and then cut it again, or is there a specific way you have to cut it? So I've never used it. I know it's 6 strands, so that part I do know. But other than that, I don't know how you use it. I know to get the variegation in them, you stitch cross by cross, so full cross, so then you don't get the you get the variegation as it goes along. I know that much. That's all I do now. I've never used variegated floss either. I know a couple of people, YouTube channels that I watch, use the variegated floss, and their pieces look awesome. And then some people don't like the big variegation, so they will do it a different way. So I know it's trial and error, but I'd like to be able to do it without too many errors. Oh, speaking of stuff with errors and everything like that, well, not errors, I went to order my fabric for my Archangel, and they were out of that fabric, so I was getting 32 count Belfast linen. So getting it dyed in the Sorcerer. This is from Colour Cascades in Australia, and they were out. So I've been messaging with, I think her name's Tammy, the owner of it, with regards to it, and she doesn't know when she's going to be able to get any more of it back in, because obviously everything that's going off. So she asked what other kind of fabrics I like to stitch on, and I was like, well, I only really use Easy Guide. And then I've got a bit of that Cashel linen that I'm doing my Christmas sampler on. So I asked her for suggestions, and she says, even though it's Mirabilia and it does say 32 count, a lot of people do them on different counts, so like 28 count or like higher 16 or stuff like that. So she suggested maybe going for the 28 count. She said it's Cashel linen, so obviously I'm used to that one. Because apparently as well, once you've dyed the fabrics, sometimes it shrinks, depending on how it's been done. So you may order a 28 count, but it turns out to be more like a 32 count or something like that. Can you tell I'm not with all the how things work? So I've told her she's going to have a look to see what she's got there, Let's see if there's anything she can do for me. So I'm just waiting to hear back from her. So it may be that my Archangel gets done on Kishel linen rather than the Belfast linen, which I don't mind, as long as the holes are okay for doing the beading, because that's one of the things. I don't want to be spending all that money getting everything for it and then find out that I can't put all the beads on or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. So as I say, I'm just waiting for it to get back to me on that one. So hopefully that won't be too much longer, and then I may be able to get that started. And thanks everyone as well for letting me know what your option, what you would do with regards to starting projects. I think the consensus is you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, so get them all started. So I'm going to get some started. I don't know when, I don't know what I'm going to start, when or where, but I'm going to get some started. So as I say, I'm going to start with the ones that people have sent me, so, or bought me. So I've got the 2 Theo Governor kits, I've got the 2 from Angela, and a couple of kits from Annette. But I'm going to say they're only small ones anyway. So I'll probably get some of them started. And I got another one, some more, I think it was from Diane, I think. So I've got those to do as well. I also need to try and sort myself out a new kind of storage for my current whips. At the moment I have them in a really, really big bag. It was what a quilt came in. So I have them all in there. But that bag is now kind of bulging a little bit. Well, I say a little bit, a lot. So I need to find something else to put in that. So I'm looking at maybe getting one of those big plastic container boxes. Storage boxes, that's the word I was looking for. And using one of them instead. So one of those with the lids. Maybe getting one of those and transferring everything into there as well. Until I get around to sorting out my craft room, whenever that will be. Just to get a bit more organised, because if you can see, luckily you can't see, but if you could see the side of where I sit, it looks like a bomb's hit it. This project's everywhere. It's just one big mess. You have to go rummaging through the bag to find the project you want to work on. And then once you find the project that you want to work on, you just throw everything back in the corner instead of putting it back neatly. So everything's just in a mess. Come here, thank you. And if you guys are not sure of certain words that I say, and you want to know what they actually mean, just let me know. I'm going to translate them into what they mean in different parts of the world. That one, when I was talking about my ring and I mentioned hamper, and everyone's like, what's a hamper? So if I'd said food hamper, you'd have probably realised what I meant. So yeah, so if you're ever unsure of anything that I say, just drop a line and I'll tell you exactly, well, hopefully I'll be able to say exactly what it is and translate it for you into where you come from, so that you know what I'm talking about. So it's always different. It's always different when you get people from different areas trying to explain things to you, and you're like, "What are you talking about here?" This stitch right up here. It was kind of like me when I first came over here, and no one could understand a word I was saying. I couldn't understand a word they were saying because they call everything completely different. But you learn to adapt. So it's like, hang on, let me think about this. You would call it this. So yeah, so if you're not 100% sure, just let me know, and I will try and tell you what it actually means. So this is parked in the next page. So this one I'm just doing a couple of stitches in here, and then I'll park it, just so that it breaks up the page line. And before you ask, no, it doesn't get confusing. Well, I don't find it hard anyway when you probably park threads everywhere to figure out what's what. I'm going to say here, this is all for this page, so I've just kind of like loosely plaited that. These are all ready for the next page, but I'll wait until I've done this part, well, all this page first, and then I'll plait these all up and tuck them away. The only hard part is when you park one in the wrong spot, and then you need to try and find out which one it belongs to. I did it on one down here. I parked it in one symbol, but it was actually one stitch across that way, so I had to move it across one. But I was looking at it and I was like, that doesn't look like the right colour. When you stitch that colour a fair bit, you know what's right and what's wrong. And I was like, that one's definitely not the right colour. So what colour is this one? And then you have to try and figure out. So I was like, looking for the symbols all the way around it, and looking for the, come here, missed it. I'm looking for the colour to see if I could find out which one it was. So I parked in the spot with one of the light blues, and it was actually a light pink. So it's like, okay, completely messed that one up. But other than that, it's not very often I do park them in the wrong spot. But every now and then, sometimes I catch it straight away. Sometimes it's not until I get onto that page and it's like, I've got two threads in the same hole here. Which one's which? I've done that several times. Especially on Mini Deer Creek. I don't know why. On Mini Deer Creek, I always had like two threads in one hole. And it's like, how have I managed that? Which one's this one for? And you have to get all your colours out and double check them. And so in future, I'm going to try, I'm not promising, try and keep the videos to at least 1 hour long. So if you've ever got any topics you want me to talk about, or any questions or anything like that, feel free to either drop them down below or send me an email, and we can find something to rant on about, or rabbit on about. Now, I don't do politics, so don't ask me anything about politics. I know everything's affected by politics, but I'm not a political person, so I don't do politics, so there's no point asking me questions on that. I'm not a religious person, so I don't do things on that one either. But anything else is fine. I think that's just narrowed everyone's questions down to like not much. But yeah, if there's anything you ever want to know, or anything you'd be interested in, just let me know. So whether it be stuff from when I was growing up, from my work life, or anything like that, just let me know. So what are we at now? I think we're roughly at about an hour. So let's do a little bit more. I say, to be fair, I don't know why. Before, it was always quite hard to get the stitch means to go to 45 minutes. And since I decided to try and do a long one last week, that one flew by, and before I knew it, I was already at an hour. Same with this one. Must be the interruptions from having the phone call that does it. Because last week I had one too. If you're ever running your colours under the back as well, always be careful not to run your darker colours under your light colours, because sometimes they show through. As I found that out before as well. I think I run a black under a white and you could see the white through it. The black through the white. So always be careful what you're running your colours through as well. I'm doing well, we've got rid of most of these threads. Next. I have a habit of this as well. It's a part the thread in one spot and then there's 1 or 2 stitches above it, and it's like, well, why didn't I just park it there? So is this one 1 or 2 stitches above it and all the rest are below it, so why didn't I just park it on the top ones to start with? So I took the cats to get their claws cut this week. So on Fridays we always finish early. So I booked in with the vets on Friday. Gave myself plenty of time to get home. So I finish at 1 on a Friday. So I made the vet's appointment at 2:30, because it normally takes me about half an hour or so to get, well, 45 minutes to an hour to get home. I thought, well, it gives me half an hour to get in, get sorted, get the cat ready, get to the vets. Well, would you credit it, this time, on the way home, I got stuck behind a lorry carrying one of those big diggers. Now, where I live, there's a lot of hills, so this thing was absolutely crawling up the hill. So I think I was doing maybe 10 kilometers an hour, or in miles per hour, about 5 up this hill. Not up all these hills, because there's several of them. Anyway, it took me about half an hour to get past that thing, because I couldn't overtake because there was too many cars coming the other way. Get past that thing, get down the road another little bit, and then, would you credit it, I found another one. And I was like, come on, this is ridiculous. So what would normally take me 45 minutes to get home, took me nearly an hour and a half. So it was a case of like, get in, get the cat basket, grab a cat, and then go to the vets. Well, luckily for me, you put the cat basket down and all the cats come up to sniff it to see what it is. Even though they've seen it before, and it's where Ginger normally sleeps, because Ginger normally sleeps on top of the wardrobe and right next to it. So one of them always comes sniffing. Well, actually they all do. But one of them always tries to go in it. Luckily for me, Ginger decided he was going to go in it this time to see what was in there. So as soon as he put his 2 front feet in it, I pushed him in, shut the door, and ran out the door, take him to the vets. Now, because I had all 3 of them booked in, luckily for me, the vets is just around the corner. So because I had all 3 of them booked in, it's a case of come home, grab one, take them to get the claws cut, come back home, switch it out, get another cat, go back to the vets. So that was me for the next half an hour. Chasing the cats around the house and then doing it. So, 2, 3, 4, 6. So Ginger was the first. Now Ginger, he is a moaner. You put him in the cat carrier, in the car, and he will howl all the way until you pick the carrier up again. So he is a moaner. Kitty is not. She's quiet as a mouse. You wouldn't even know you had her in the car. Tiger will moan for the first minute, and then that's it. But normally, I don't have any problems getting them in the carriers. Not this time. Tiger decided he was going to have a go at me when I was trying to get him in the carrier. And he was hissing and spitting and everything. Anyway, needless to say, as soon as he was in there, he was trying to get out. As soon as I picked it up, he was alright. Kitty, she normally just walks in it. Not this time. No, she put up a right fight. In the end, to put the carrier so it was faced upright, with the hole pointing up at me, I'd drop her in that way, so then I could close her in. But yeah, she had a right go, so you can't probably see him. I've got like scratch here, scratch here, scratch here. Some of them are scratches all the way around here and here. So yeah, now she was having none of it. And it's like, that's not like her. As soon as I got to the vets, she was fine. Took her out the cat carrier. I hold them, and the vet, well, the assistant, if you like, over there cuts the nails. So as you know, Kitty is not a cuddly cat. You can't normally pick her up and hold her for long. Maybe about 15 seconds, and then she wants out. Yep, she doesn't mind you holding her when she's getting a close cut. I don't know what's happened there. I'll have to sort that one out in a bit. But yeah, when she's having a close cut, she don't mind you holding her. She's not bothered at all. I was like, well, why can't you be like this at home? Gotta love cats. They are definitely unique characters. Yeah, but as I say, I've never had cats before that don't like being cuddled. Mine have to be different. Where am I? That one. But when it comes to feed time, oh, they're all your best mates. Every single one of them. Even Kitty rubs herself up against you and everything like that. It's like, oh yeah, now you want to be my friend. And mine always get some treats at night time as well. So, over here they're called, I can't think what they're called now. Temptations or something like that. But in the UK they're called Dreamies. It's the same ones, little cat biscuits with filling in them. Oh, they love them. Yeah, so you get them out, they're all your best friends. They used to like, it's like a paste in a tube that you just need to squeeze out. They used to like that one, and you get it in different flavours. But for some reason they've gone off that. I don't know if it's due to the heat or what. I gave them some the other day just to try again after a couple of weeks, and they loved it. I thought, okay, I'll get you some more. Yep, next time I went to put it down, weren't bothered. The only one that was bothered was Tiger. He'll eat anything you put down for him. I think that's due to him being a stray and just getting whatever he can when he can. So. Okay. Just checking the time just to see how long this one is. It's the only thing when someone calls you, you've got to try and work it out so you can patch it together as to how long your video is going to be. I'm sure any floss tuber will tell you, it's a pain in the butt. Some people do it on purpose, they stop their videos so that they can remember to insert stuff. Me, I don't. I just go on and on and on and on, and then afterwards I go back and listen to parts where I think I need to insert stuff and then insert it. And it's like I always watch my videos back as well. Once I've got them done, I'm ready to be put up on YouTube. I always watch them back, just in case anything needs adjusting or changing, or I need to put something else into it. So I always do that. That's how half the time I know how many adverts are going into the video as well. Once I've got it loaded up into YouTube, until you make it go public, it just sits there. So I'll leave it there for a little bit, so then I can find out how many adverts it's going to put into it if I leave it on. Sometimes it's not a lot, sometimes it's a lot. See, what makes me laugh is on the normal Stitch With Me, it will put, so 45 minutes, it will put in, well, I think the most I've ever had, which I turned them off, was something like 8 adverts in a 45-minute Stitch With Me. This Stitch With Me, 2. And is that, what's going off there? So this Stitch With Me was like twice the length of the normal Stitch With Me, and you put 2 adverts in. Get a 45-minute Stitch With Me, and you put like 8 in. It's ridiculous. So I always leave it on. So like this is done. I always record them on the weekend, so Saturday or Sunday, to go on a Wednesday. So I will put it on, load it in, so then it's all ready to go, and then I will watch it back. And for some reason or other, that then this makes, I don't know how the algorithms and all that work with YouTube, but once I've done that, excuse me, it then works out where it's going to put some adverts, how many adverts it's going to put in. So then by the time I come to release it, I can then turn off adverts if needs be. If it's just like 1 or 2 adverts, it's like, okay, we'll leave them in. It's only 1 or 2. It's not going to be a big hindrance, so I'll leave them in. If you look at it, it's going to be like 10. And it's like, nah, they're coming off. So you have to go into the settings and switch them all off and everything. So you'll always get an advert at the beginning of my videos and at the end of my videos. During the videos, I try not to, well, I try to keep them at a minimum. So you may get 1 or 2, but if it ever goes overboard, then they're coming off. It's filling in nicely now with this colour. So yeah, so if you ever see a video and it's got loads and loads and loads of adverts in it, do let me know. I know I have a couple of people who already let me know if there's loads in, so I can go in and try and rectify it. But sometimes it doesn't tell me how many adverts it's going to put in. Like on my Stitch With Me's, I always put them up on a Wednesday, but I always switch it over just before I go to bed. And every time it says there's no adverts in it, and then you forget to go back in the morning and check. And then sometimes I'll get a message saying this video has like 8 adverts in it, and it's like, oh, damn it, come back out, go and change it around. So yeah, so if you ever see a video and it's got absolutely loads and loads and loads of adverts in it, just let me know so I can get them switched off. Guaranteed it might be a little bit later on, depending what time of day it is for me over here, but I'll always go in and switch those off if there's too many. I know it's a bit annoying when you're halfway through watching something, or especially if someone's halfway through saying something and then all of a sudden an advert comes on and you're just like, you've got to wait for the advert to finish. So you can carry on listening to what they were going to say and hoping that it's not half of a word that they mentioned before the advert decided to come in. Which I have found happened a couple of times on people's videos. But it also makes me laugh as well, because sometimes it will show that there's maybe 6 adverts on a video. And you're like, oh, great, just what you want. But then you're watching it, and it skips past some of them. So it must be ones like focused for certain areas, I'm guessing, or certain countries. So it'll show 6 adverts, but then you only get like 2 of them. And you're just like, okay, that's a bit different. So I don't know if it's just like one set for specific countries or specific areas. I have no idea. So I watched one video once and it said there was like, I think it said there was 10 adverts in it. I was like, oh, this is going to take forever. And I got 2. And it's like, alright, I can cope with that. So what we at? 40 minutes on this one. And then I think I was about 30 some minutes on the other one. That's about an hour and 15-ish. So we'll see, I might finish this one, or I might do another one and then finish. I'm confusing myself here. I've marked some off that foot. I'm done. There we go. Now back on track. I've just found one of the cats. I was wondering where he was. So, Tiger's asleep on the rug near the front door, on his back with his legs in the air, obviously cooling himself down. Kitty is outside, where she normally is, on the, I've got like a futon outside. It was just an old one, so it was like, well, we'll use that for sitting outside on, maybe being undercover. So she normally sleeps on there or behind there. And as I say, Ginge is normally on the wardrobe or under the bed, if he's not with Tiger. Well, I've not seen him for a bit, and I've just found him. He's actually under the table near my feet. He's just moved, so now I know where he is. If it was Tiger that was missing, then I'd be a bit concerned, because he's the one who likes to try and escape. He's the one who busts the screens off the windows so you can get out. Oh, speaking of losing the cat, the other day, when was it? Thursday. Came home from shopping. So Thursday I'm always home late from work. So normally I'm home by about 4:30, 5 o'clock. This week I got home, brought the shopping in, went to the cupboard to get the cat food out to feed the cats. Anyway, normally when you're feeding the cats, Ginger is jumping up at you left, right and centre. Normally. And I'm like, it's pretty quiet. Where is he? And I thought, alright, he may have gone to the toilet, which is very unlike him when there's food on the go. Anyway, Tiger's at the cupboard door where I get the cat food from. And he's just looking at it. And I was like, well, that's not like him either. He's normally around my feet when I'm trying to feed them. What's going off here? Then all of a sudden, I saw this paw come under the cupboard door. It was Ginger. I'd shut him in the cupboard. So it's one of the big like pantry cupboards that you walk in. So I'd actually shut him in there. But instead of meowing to let me know that he was in there, he was using his paw under the door to try and open it so he would get back out again. So, no wonder why it was a bit strange and quiet. He was still in the cupboard. Needless to say, since then, when I open the cupboard door, it goes the opposite direction. So I've no idea. I didn't even see him go in there. Yeah, I didn't even see him go in there. Sorry, my phone just came up with low battery. So I didn't see him go in there. Normally I do, because he's always hanging around. But this time, he didn't. So, right, I need to sort this stitch out. I don't know what I've done wrong here. So let me count one for this one. Park that one there a minute so I can sort that one out. So, because my battery is running low, it looks like this is going to be the end of the stitch with me. So I think it's worked out probably around about an hour and 15, maybe an hour and 20. So hopefully that's okay for you. So we didn't do too bad. A fair bit of working on there. So according to this, we've done 520 stitches. That's not bad going at all. One of them that I need to fix. So that's everything. So again, guys, as I say, any questions or anything like that, please feel free to drop those down below, or any subjects you want to talk about. Again, either pop it down below or send me an email. If you do want to send me an email, my email address as always is dizzystitcher@gmail.com, and this again will be linked down below. On Instagram it's dizzystitcher, or again you can send me a message on there. So that's everything, guys. So I'm gonna go before this phone dies completely. So thanks for watching. Hope you made it all the way through to the end. Hope you got some good stitching in. So until next time, stay safe, happy stitching, and I will speak to you in my next video. Take care, guys, and thanks for watching.